Hello, welcome to Tarot Concertina. This reading will be for the Pisces collective or anyone with Pisces in their chart. And I'll be looking at the month of July 2025, but this will be good for whenever you find this video. I thought it'd be cool to first do some channeled messages I received while meditating before starting the video. Then we'll look at relationships and love, and then career. So there will be a timestamp in the description box where you can jump directly to relationships or career. One might interest you more than the other, and keep in mind they might not be for you, or both might be for you, or just one might be, so don't take on anything that doesn't resonate for you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment, and share if you want. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, there's a link in the description box for my website, tarotconcertina.com, where you can see all my options for personal readings. So the first insight I got while meditating before starting the video was that you are very deeply connected to nature and the environment around you. And as I was looking at this card, I felt strongly, this might sound silly to some of you, but I felt you are more the tree than the figure hanging here. So you are the tree, and you're also part of all the natural environment that surrounds you, especially water, and if you have any moving water near you. The message was to go to the water, and ideas and messages or anything you need will flow down the river or whatever moving body of water. It will flow to you. So you might have a very close relationship with water. Also, I was seeing, now bear with me as I try to describe this because it's very abstract. When you look into water, you see the reflection on the surface of the water and the reality, but you're actually more deeply connected to the reflection than what you see on the ground, if that makes sense. So I got this image of you're looking at water and then suddenly it flips around, and your lived experience is more like that dreamy underwater flow state, as if you're living in the reflection. So that could mean a couple things. That could represent the subconscious. You're a very dreamy type of person. You're dreamy, and everything's very fluid for you. So I don't normally live that way, but I think that's incredible if you do. So the general impression is you get your ideas through getting into that flow state. And if there's a way you can achieve that more often, it'll bring you more peace and creativity, and your ideas will kind of effortlessly come through in that way. So those are the channeled messages from the meditation, and now we'll get into the tarot portion of the video. Okay, let's first look at relationships for Pisces in July. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be any significant relationship in your life. I've already shuffled this deck many times, but I like to tune in to the viewer as I shuffle a bit more. I have the Sun in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, Two of Wands in reverse, Nine of Cups, Two of Pentacles in reverse, and Justice. And at the bottom of the deck, the Chariot. I haven't been looking at the bottom for all the readings, but sometimes I feel a beckoning from beneath the deck. And I'm glad, because I think the Chariot's really going to help propel you through this. So we have the Sun here in reverse, which it doesn't mean unhappiness. However, it could mean more like a cloudy sky. There's still a sense of what would bring you joy and warmth and clarity in your life. However, it's a bit obscured. I think you know what would bring you personal happiness, but for some reason, there's like a shade. I'm seeing a blind between the sunny rays of sunlight coming through the window being blocked by some kind of screen here. The King of Swords in reverse has been making frequent appearances in almost all the zodiac readings I've been doing over the last week or so. I don't know why this is the dominant energy, but King of Swords in reverse can mean harsh, cutting words, somebody who's icy, cold, could be manipulative. It's not a warm energy. This could be the reason you're not feeling the warmth of the sun, so to speak. There could be somebody here who either is dealing with or is the person not aware of the effects of their words, their actions, their behavior on others, and how it could create an atmosphere of something less than cheerful. I'll just put it that way. So we have a bit of a negative energy here, and then the Two of Wands in reverse. I think Aquarius had this card in the same position, but upright. If you have Aquarius in your chart, you might want to watch that one as well. So this is about making plans for your future, deciding the next best course of action. And it's also about living in the moment. So reverse, we might be struggling with planning our next steps. Maybe there's something getting in the way of planning. Now we have two twos here, both in reverse. Obviously, 2 comes after 1, so it looks like we might be dealing with 2 individuals here who are out of balance with each other, or struggling to get into a rhythm with each other. There could be a bit of a fear of expansion here. There's a bit of contraction energy here. It's staying in a security zone, not feeling free to roam. But there is a knowledge of what would make you personally happy. And I do like that Justice is in this sort of an outcome position. So it looks like you do find alignment and balance in the end, and what's correct for both parties. Let's get a few more clarifying tarot cards. Okay. The Page of Wands flew out. The Emperor. Three of Cups in reverse. And the Queen of Swords. So now we have both the Queen and the King of Swords here. This person might feel like you're equal in an intellectual sort of way. There seems to be a bond here over mental activity. But it could mean you're both kind of can be pointed with your language. You also make very quick decisions. So there could be some conflict here just because you both believe in what you're saying, you both think you're right about something. With the Three of Cups in reverse, I'm getting another inclination that there's lack of emotional warmth shared between the two of you at times. Or it's just hard to access that part. Like, you're unlikely to sit down and share drinks with this person. I'm not clear on if this is a romantic relationship or not. You would know best, and you would know if this is applying to you or not. But I would look at other relationships in your life, because I'm not feeling a lot of warmth between these two people. So showing a spark of creativity here with the Page of Wands. It could be you who has a lot of good ideas, a lot of insights that you want to follow, a lot of creative ideas. And I am reminded I know he's kind of like a tree moss man. I think those are mushrooms. But I remember during my meditation, I don't think I mentioned it, I felt like my fingers were becoming tree limbs or twigs or something. So there's a message in here, Page of Wands. It usually means like you're excited to take off in a new, inspiring direction that usually involves a creative fire. But you're showing Emperor here as, I think, your energy. And again, there's no genders. It's just energy, unless you identify with the gender. But the Emperor can be about self-empowerment, feeling confident in yourself, so that you could be feeling empowered to move in this new creative direction. And I'm reminded that we did have the Chariot here on the bottom of the deck, so the underlying energy could be this force where you want to move forward, you want to move ahead with something. It looks like another party might be conflicting with your desire to move ahead on a project. I'm going to get a few oracle cards. This almost feels more like a career reading than a partnership reading or a love reading, which is interesting. Maybe you work with your partner. Okay, let's see if there's any messages in the oracle cards. Health, Sun in Virgo. So it could be your health, their health, emotional health. And my eyes are drawn to this Sun, and I think it's emotional health because you're having trouble accessing what lights you up, what brings you joy. Independence, which is Moon in Aquarius. Yeah, I'm reminded of this lack of harmony here between you and this other person finding balance. And it looks like you have an independent desire here to move in a new inspired direction. Let's get one or two more oracle cards. We have friendship. So yeah, this relationship might be a friendship. Moon in Cancer. Or it's indicating there's a need to connect with friends. Maybe talk this over. And then we have endurance, again with a bright sun imagery. Oh, I think it's just because it's a sun card. Sun in Scorpio. So any of these placements might be relevant to you, or the words on the cards might be important. That's usually how I read it. So something about going the distance here, the long-term goal that you might have in mind, or it feels like an exercise in endurance to maintain this friendship, this bond. You might want to explore independently, pursuing this idea you have. This is a common theme for most of the readings. It's kind of like finding your own path. And then I felt compelled to pull another card, and it's negotiation, Saturn and Libra. So maybe you can find a balance here that works for both of you. I think you both need your own independence. Yeah, I think you have a choice to make. The twos are all about decisions, or they could be about decision making. It seems like a bit of a struggle to negotiate with this person, but with justice here, it is possible to find a harmonious outcome between the two of you. So it's up to you what you do with this information. I know it can be pretty vague sometimes, but looks like you have a need to figure out what makes you happy as an individual. I'm not sure if it's going to include this other person or not. And it looks like it's more about creativity, not necessarily about romance. We do have this friendship card here. So it's hard to work with other people. So you can choose to keep negotiating and kind of butting heads. Just know that's part of the package deal you're getting into if you choose that direction. So that's what I have for your relationship portion of this reading, and now we'll take a look at career. Okay, now we'll try to get some insight into career for Pisces in July. I've already shuffled the deck while I pause the video in between readings. So it's thoroughly shuffled. Somebody else had this. I think it was Sagittarius. Tower in reverse. Justice in reverse. The Sun. Okay. Interesting twist. All majors so far. Five of Swords. The Fool in reverse and the Six of Wands. Wow, that is intense. Okay. Let's dive a little deeper. My first impression is that something went down, something big went down, and you are happy about it. This doesn't look happy at face value, but you feel really good about it. The Sun with the Six of Wands is like, yes, I feel the warmth of the sun. I'm thrilled. I'm celebrating. Look at me. I feel amazing. Okay, so why do you feel that way after all this happened? So a dramatic change. The Tower can be sudden and shocking in the upright. In the reverse can mean it's like an internal tower or a tower moment that you put out into the world. I think you might be calling something out here. Justice in reverse can be a whistleblower about a situation you didn't feel was justified. Maybe you helped ameliorate the situation. Maybe you shed light on a bad environment. This is a really fascinating combination of cards. Sometimes I combine words, so sorry about that. There's something about deception, self-deception here, and the Fool reverse. So someone didn't have insight into what was going on. And I feel like you are the one to enlighten others. And you're like, this way. I don't want to say the phrase that I just heard in my mind, but it's along the lines of, follow me, you fools. Like, you know the way through this situation. There's this really destructive energy here. Something was corrupt, something was a little shady, and it's kind of shocking how different this is from these 4 cards. I'm really struck by it. Sorry, I'm a little taken aback by this reading. This is about being in the public eye, as is this can be about being in the spotlight. You might publicly do something that causes a dramatic shift for the better. There's an acknowledgement here that I might have been wrong in the past and I've changed my way of thinking. Something was off about the way you thought about things, or the way you communicated, the way you interacted with others, that you've overhauled or changed in some way. Okay, I'm gonna need some clarifying tarot cards. This feels bigger than you. It feels bigger than an individual. But you as an individual are a very key, important role in how this plays out. We have the Moon. So yeah, I think there was kind of something hidden here that you unearthed. There's something mysterious and shady happening. We have 2 of Wands in reverse again. Maybe I'm referring to the relationship portion. I don't know if it's related. However, could be. Let's get more cards. There's something about looking inward, really deeply investigating something. You see something other people don't see or couldn't see, and you bring it to light. I don't know if I've said that 5 times already, but it's an important message. The Empress in reverse. Tempest. So this deck, the Carnival at the End of the World, has additional cards created by the creators of the deck, and this is one of them. It's the Tempest. So sweeping change, like the wind. Like you come in like the wind and overhaul the situation. Okay, I just heard conspiracy. Maybe you're unraveling a conspiracy. Fascinating. The Empress in reverse is giving me pause. It's reminding me of the meditation. It's like a reflection of nature, because upright, the Empress is the Earth Mother, and she kind of represents all nature around her, creativity, abundance, appreciating beauty. And the reflection in the water is Empress reverse, and that could kind of be the bad Mother Nature here with the Tempest. So there could be a natural phenomenon that sweeps through and kind of changes everything, and this could be the light after the sun coming out after the storm, because there were secrets that were coming from within something, an organization, could be within yourself, but it seems bigger than just you, that you've kind of unraveled, and it seemed very upsetting, but the sun comes out at the end and you feel good about it. This is really perplexing. I'm gonna get some oracle cards. Endurance, Sun in Scorpio. Yeah, it takes a lot of stamina, endurance to get to the end of this mystery, this conspiracy, or trying to figure out. I have a lot of questions, so if you know what this is about, please enlighten me. Share in the comments. Rebellion. I'm not surprised, but I kind of am. That is Mars in Aquarius. Wow. I'll let you take a closer look at the imagery and symbolism. It's a long battle here. A rebellious spirit. You might have a very rebellious spirit, or just a really strong sense of justice, and you know when you see injustice. And then there's egotism. Might be involved in some way. Mars in Leo. Egotism is related to the Sun and the Six of Wands. Sometimes that Leo energy wants to be in the spotlight. There's a bit of self-importance, but I think the confidence is what enables you to do whatever this is that you're doing. Intuition. Mercury in Cancer. So follow your intuition. That might lead you down this path where you reveal something. You know deep down there's something going on, and I think you're the person to unravel this mystery. This is one of the most dramatic readings I've ever done. All right, so if this applies to you, I would love to hear about it. Please comment if you want to share. Okay, that's all I have for you, and that's actually a lot. This could be more extended than the month of July, but it all could happen pretty quickly with the tempest here. Be careful out there, whatever it is you're doing, and do let me know if you want to share any of your experiences. Okay, have a fantastic rest of your month, and I will see you at the next reading.